Hey guys, it's Devin, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this classic glam eye using the Too Faced Vegas Nay Stardust eyeshadow palette, so let's just go ahead and get started. I've already primed my eyes, so I'm first going to start out by laying a shadow that is a similar color to my skin tone all over my lid to brow bone area. Next, to define the crease a little bit more, I'm going to add Millennial, which is just a warm brown with some peach undertones. And I'm going to apply this into the crease using a fluffy brush and then just kind of blend it out. I used a pretty light hand because these shadows are very pigmented. And then I'm going to deepen that up with Girls Night, which is a more red deep brown, and using a different size blending brush. This one is a little bit smaller. I'm just applying that mostly in the outer corner and then sweeping in and just using windshield wiper motions. To deepen up the outer corner a little bit more, I'm taking JACKPOT, and this is just a pretty neutral, slightly warm brown with gold glitter, but I did tap off my brush, so I tapped off most of the glitter just to leave the brown pigment. But I just applied that to the outer corner as well as a little bit into my crease and then blended it out until there weren't any more harsh lines. For the rest of the lid, I'm going to use this shade called The Strip, and this is a kind of taupe. It's kind of a mix between like a taupe and a silver and a champagne, but I also used my brush wet for this shade because it does have quite a bit of fallout because it is very glittery, but I just applied that with a flat foundation brush on the inner half of my lid, and then applied a tiny bit more of JACKPOT on the outer corner just to balance it out. To do a little bit more brow bone highlighting, I'm taking that matte cream shade and I am just going to apply this essentially all over the eyeshadow and then blend it out with a clean blending brush just to soften out the edges and make sure that I didn't carry any of those shadows too high. And then to highlight my brow bone just a tiny bit more, I'm going to go in with Chandelier, which is just a satin white, and apply that right under the arch of my eyebrow. For the wing today, I'm just using my Wet n Wild Megaliner. Nothing new here, just doing a pretty thick wing because I felt like I needed it, you know? I needed it. I will be wearing false lashes today, but of course I have to add a thin layer of mascara just so that my bare lashes don't stick out. But I am using the Ardell false lashes, the style 113, and I'm just going to apply those first in the center and then also in the outer and inner corners. Really make sure those inner corners stick in because those often give me a hard time. Jumping to the face for a bit, I'm just applying my NYX hydrating primer all over the face and rubbing it in until it feels slightly tacky. And then I'm going to go in with my concealer and I'm going to conceal any areas where I know I need a little bit more coverage. Usually I apply my concealer over my foundation, but I found that the foundation I'm currently using doesn't really play nicely when you layer a concealer over it, so I've learned that it is kind of better to just apply it under and then blend it out and then apply your foundation over it. That's just my personal experience though, but I'm just blending out all of that concealer with a flat foundation brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a layer of my foundation. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation, and I have to work in halves of my face because this foundation is matte and it sets pretty quickly, so I just do one half at a time and blend that out with a flat top kabuki brush. Now that my foundation's done, we can move back to the under eyes, so I'm going to first start out by applying that warm light brown under the eyes using a pencil brush, just doing this very lightly, and then I'm going to deepen it up a tiny bit with that darker warm brown as well. And I'm going to keep this pretty light, just kind of adding a little bit of balance, and then I'm going to blend that out as always. To highlight the inner corner, I'm going to use that Chandelier shade, the same satin shade I used under the arch of my eyebrow, and I'm just going to apply that on the inner corner just to bring some light into that area. I'm going to line my waterline with my NYX Wonderpencil. This is just a nude pencil. You know the drill. Going to make my eyes look nice and bright and wide open, and then doing a little bit of mascara on those lower lashes as well. For brows, I'm going to start out by going through them with my NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. And then I'm going to fill in any gaps using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in medium brown and an angled eyeliner brush. Alright, and moving back to the face, I know we're jumping around a bit, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. I'm contouring using the Urban Decay eyeshadow in Anaheim, and I'm just running that along the underside of my cheekbones, and then along the sides of my nose. And then I'm going to use the Tarte blush in Surprise. This is just a bright coral pink, and I'm going to apply that pretty heavily to the apples of the cheeks and brush backwards. For highlight, I'm using my Becca highlight in Moonstone. No surprise there, it's like the only highlight I use, but I'm going to highlight the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, my cheekbones, and my Cupid's bow as well. Alright, and to finish off the look, I'm going to apply MAC's Whirl lipstick, and I'm going to use my finger at first for a lighter application, and then I'll go into the bullet just a little bit to really use that point to get in the corners, and then, you know, mess up a little bit, because that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But that is all for this tutorial. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. There's a link to do so on the screen, as well as links to all my social media accounts. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.